Hi, today we're talking about your business taxes and preparing for tax time. Got a few things to cover, so I just wanted to take a moment to go through a couple of things. Preparing for tax time, you are going to need to gather some documents for us. And some of you have been doing your business taxes with us for a while, but for those of you who may be new to this or it's a different type of business, a good refresher never hurts. So just to run through the basics, you do want to keep track of your business expenses and business income throughout the year. That's what's the best practices. The reason for that is if you wait till the end of the year, then you're in a position where you need to pull things together for us to do your taxes, and you may not know exactly where things are. It's going to be a lot more work just pulling everything together, and you'll have that angst because now you have that deadline sort of looming over you, and you're kind of pressed for that. So if you can, to whatever extent, whether you use a notebook, a ledger, Excel, Google Sheets, QuickBooks, some other software, you want to try and make sure that you're keeping a good track of that information. So for tax time, boils down to pretty much this. We need all your business expenses and all your business income for the tax year. That's pretty much it, okay? It's not rocket science. We just need that information. Now the trick is, where do you get that information if you're not sure or if you're new to this? So we're going to get into that. First off, I wanted to introduce myself and say welcome. Welcome to HS Financial Services. Thank you so much for contacting us to work with you on your business taxes and any other business needs that you may have. We have been providing services to business owners like yourself for over 20 years. And whether it's accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, financial reporting, including profit and loss, other types of financial reports, entity formation, we are able to assist you. There's a host of other business support services that we do as well. Rule of thumb, ask us. In most cases, we're able to help. Who I am. If you're not aware, my name is Stacey Hoffler-Smith. I am an enrolled agent licensed to practice before the IRS. I am also co-founder and general partner of HS Financial Services, and we're located here in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get back to the business taxes. How this works. Your taxes are calculated on the net income or net loss of your business activity for the year. Okay, so you have the couple terms we need to be aware of: gross income, net income / net loss. Okay, gross income consists of all income, excluding any loans, that you received as compensation for your business activity, for services you provided, items you sold, income that you've received for the business tax year. Okay, before expenses. Now your net income comes in once we have all the income that you received, and then we subtract your expenses. Okay, once we subtract your expenses, then we arrive at the resulting net income, or in some cases, it's a net loss. All right, so we need, again, for your purposes, we need to have all your business income and all your business expenses. Right. Now, to capture all this on your return, we're going to need certain documents from you. We have to include all your business income, but the tax code allows us to subtract, since you're a business owner, all your business expenditures, and then use that resulting figure as the figure that you're ended up being taxed on. And in some cases, again, it may be a loss, and in that way it's figured into your taxes as well. But depending on what's going on with your return, sometimes there's some other things that we may need to do, and we would talk to you about that as we're going through and reviewing the return. All right. Information you're going to need to collect for us to give us the business income and the business expenses. Let's go with income first. For income, any 1099s that you received, 1099 miscellaneous, 1099 NEC for non-employee compensation, or a 1099K. 1099K you're typically going to receive from Square, PayPal, Shopify, any credit card processing company. 1099K comes from third-party payment processors. So anything that falls under that umbrella, they're going to be providing you a 1099K. Any 1099s that are reflecting income that you receive for the tax year, we need those, period. All right. Additionally, you may have received other income that is not reported on a 1099. We'll need to see all of that. So hopefully you have a ledger. Some people have given us invoices and other documentation to show various projects and jobs that they've been paid for, and we're able to calculate that and incorporate that onto the return. Expenses. We need to have, again, any ledger or QuickBooks file that you may have. We need to have your receipts and ideally a listing of totals for your receipts in the various categories that we'll provide you. Okay. We will want your monthly bank statements for the tax years. Any tax year that we're preparing, we want to see your monthly bank statements. And depending on the number of transactions and the activity level, we may need to do a cursory compilation. If we do need to do full bookkeeping, we will discuss that with you and talk to you about what the pricing is on that and what have you. But in many cases, we're just really looking to confirm that the income that's showing in your bank statements is lining up with whatever you've listed either in your ledger or QuickBooks file or on your 1099s. You just want to make sure that things match up so that you don't run into problems later with us reporting an incorrect amount. All right. Again, your expenses, we want any ledger, QuickBooks file that you may have, listing of receipts, monthly bank statements. You also may have account statements from specific vendors. So if you normally use a couple different vendors, and you use them pretty regularly, oftentimes they are able to provide, or you may be able to log in and print out a listing of all the expenditures, purchases that you've made for the tax year. So you want to see if you can grab that. That's going to help us out a lot and help you out a lot. Okay, so that's it for business income and business expenditures in terms of the source documents. Now, going a little deeper into the expenses, I have a listing here of different various types of expenses that you can include. Now, the number and types of businesses that there are out there makes it so this list is super varied, and some things are going to be across the board. You're going to have those, but some things you're going to see on our list that may not be relevant for you, might be relevant for someone else. By the same token, you may have other items that are not on this list at all, but are still valid expenses. This list is a guide to help get the juices flowing, help us start thinking in that way. And it's really a good list. A lot of our business owners have found it helpful, especially if they're new. So some of the key things, I'm just going to highlight a couple of things: cable, internet, cell phone, printer supplies, office supplies, including office furniture, lease payments and utility payments for a commercial space. Now, if you are running your business out of your home, we would likely take the home office deduction as opposed to the lease payments. Mortgage payments we cannot take, lease payments we cannot take, in its entirety. However, we are able to use some other version of deduction to address those expenses. So we'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But when we're looking at lease payments and utility payments, we are specifically talking about a commercial space, someplace that is not your home where you reside. Business meals, rental car, airfare, if you go to conferences, business meetings, anything like that, we're going to want to have a good handle on what that figure is for those expenses. If you have a website, you do web advertising, internet advertising, Facebook advertising, anything that you pay for in that regard. Of course, we're going to need mileage and some details about the vehicles that you use. So you can talk to us a little bit more about that, but just so that you know the scope and realm of the items that we need to provide for us. But the list is here. If you have something that's not on this list and you have a question about, generally speaking, just include it. We'll let you know if you can take it or if you can't take it. Feel free to also send us an email or shoot us a message in the portal to ask a question if you have that. All right. Next thing is submitting your documents to us. Now that you've gathered everything, how are you going to get it to us? All right. So we've got a couple options for you. Our preferred option is for you to upload your documents to our portal. Now, I have a screenshot that I want to show you that's here for the portal. Many of you have seen it. You can see that there's a spot where you can easily click upload, and that's available to you. The other thing is, once you do upload your documents, they're available to you all the time. So whenever you want to log in and take a look at it, you may need to print them out for something else. It's not related to taxes. It's nice because it's there. Now, if you do have lots of documents, lots of pages, it's kind of bulky and whatnot, maybe that's not the best option, but we'll get to the next way to work around that. But I do want to mention that there is a mobile app for our portal as well. That's helpful. Why? Because it makes it so that you can use your phone as a scanner. You use your picture function, camera function on your phone, and you can take pictures of your documents and upload them. It makes it super easy. Again, this is not for the individual that has many, many, many pages of documents, because that I wouldn't want you to go through that. All right, but if you do have just a few pages, maybe most of your documents are already PDFs, you're dragging and dropping them into the portal, great, and you have this other couple that are not a PDF. You can snap a picture and those extra 3, 4, 5, 10 pages, whatever you're comfortable with, and upload those. That's fine. Now, if you do have a lot of pages, a lot of documents, you can schedule a drop-off with us. All right, that's not a problem. Just during our normal business hours, we do ask that you actually schedule with our front desk. And there's a few reasons for that. One of which is we want to make sure that our staff is anticipating your arrival and ready to receive you and give you the full attention that we'd like you to have. We want to make sure that we don't have 4 or 5 people, 10 people kind of showing up at the same time, all of you with folders and folders of documents that you're trying to pass over to us, and people have to wait and whatnot. So if we're able to schedule it, it just makes it easier for the front desk staff as well as for you. You don't have to wait. It's the same way you would as if you just walked in. The second thing is sometimes our staff is working remotely, and we want to make sure that we actually have somebody that's present in the office when you're trying to drop documents off. So it's super important for us. We just want to make sure that we're both on the same page and we can get you what you need, and we'll be able to get the documents from you that we need. All right. Now in the portal, there is an organizer that you need to complete for us. And there's 2 different ways to do that. One is from the organizer tab in your portal. It's right there on the home screen. I have a screenshot of it, and you can just click that, and then you'll be able to see and select the business organizer. Now, alternatively, you can fill out the PDF that we have. Now, the PDF is a fillable PDF. So there's fields in there where as long as you have a computer that you can type, you can just type the information into the fields that we have, kind of situated for you. And there's some other fields that I think are titled other. So if there's items that are additional that we don't have specifically named and listed that you feel like are important, you can certainly put those in there. We want you to. So if you have a question, our staff is pretty awesome about answering questions. Please feel free to reach out. We want you to make sure that you're on the same page and that we're answering questions that you may have. All right. Also, the business expense checklist. You're going to want to take a look at that. There's no fields on that. It is literally a guide to use for you to help you with gathering your business items, your business documents for the year. So just, again, when I say a guide, I mean something just to kind of keep your mind thinking of, what can I use as a deduction? Oh, there's that thing. I can use that as a deduction. That's the way we want you to be thinking when you look at this. All right. Again, at the end of the day, we're going to need you to provide us with all your business details. The organizers do ask for identifying information, meaning your official business name, your tax ID number if you have one. For some of you may not. And then it also is going to have these fields for you to provide specific figures for items that were expenses for you for the year. So it does help with collecting the appropriate documents and information and data needed for your tax return. And just the last word, which is that there's a few different entity types. I won't say some. There's a few different entity types. And whether you're a sole proprietorship, you're unincorporated, or you're an LLC, partnership, S Corp, C Corp, nonprofit organization, generally speaking, the information that we need from all of you is the same. We still need all of the business income, and we need all of the business expenses. And we're going to want to have a copy of your bank statements for the year. If you're new to us, we are going to also want the prior year tax return that you have. All right, so I think that kind of sums it up. Again, it's largely the same. We use different forms to record the income and expenses, and there may be different deductions that are available to you once we get that information entered in and scrubbed really well. So, but in terms of source documents that we need from you, is the same. Business income, business expenses, we need that. Any 1099s, bank statements, QuickBooks file, any ledger you have, any receipts, particularly for larger items, we want those receipts. That's what we need. All right. If you have any other questions, let us know. Please reach out. Again, my name is Stacey Hoffler Smith, and this is our phone number and email that you can reach out and send us a message to. You can also send us a message in the portal once you're logged in. It's an easy way to do that. It makes it so that you can connect with all of us, because all of us see those messages, but our front desk is awesome at responding and making sure that they answer questions about whatever documents that you're submitting or that you have a question about submitting. That's their thing. They're on it. Okay. So thank you so much. And I look to hear from you soon.